Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Harris, and I am back from my trip to Sweden. It was very, very fun. We bought a lot of new pets, and eventually I will show you God knows how many of these new pets because they're fantastic. Although we did have one incident involving a fairy and a snake getting loose, and a lot of angry people because our snake got loose. That could be a euphemism for something. It's really not, honestly. It's not a euphemism, so don't worry too much. It really did get loose, and it was a bad thing. Anyway, if anybody wants to know the story, I'll tell them later. It's very bad. Anyway, I'm going to start kick off my next set of replays and commentaries with a game between LiquidTLO and aTnSocke, who is playing the Teal Protoss. I've been following Socke for quite a while, and I'm sure many of you have been following TLO for quite a while. Fantastic player. And aTnSocke, I like, is a fantastic player, so we shall see how these two match off against each other in this bout, which I believe was in some kind of tournament. Looking over at my other screen, and it's telling me nothing. So, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in some kind of tournament. Anyway, LiquidTLO here, throwing down his barracks and his first refinery, going for a bit of an early gas, I believe. Nah, probably that's more standard than anything. However, Socke is bringing out this first probe to do a bit of scouting, and going the usual build for Protoss. Nothing extra strange going on here, just boosting out those probes, as you can see. Firstly, I do apologise if I'm a bit merry, as it were. I've had a bit of a drink, and during our travels, I found that red wine, especially Chateauneuf de Pape, and pancakes was a fantastic diet to live on. So I was living on that for the duration of my travels. It made for some interesting times, but oh well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, LiquidTLO here getting his orbital command as well as throwing down an extra supply depot. Socke here just going for his cybernetics core and his second vest being geyser, so going for a pretty heavy gas build, I would say. I'd say that this geyser is quite early, but LiquidTLO does see that, and he does see this cybernetics core, so he knows exactly what's going on in Socke's base. Got a few marines out here, just making sure nothing tricky is going on, and he is throwing down his second refinery. Go and look at the production tab here. We do see warp gates already being researched for Socke, so I'm surprised he didn't save that boost for the warp gates, but we'll see what he does with that. Probably going to shoo this probe off, but this probe leaves anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. There's positioning of this pylon here, making sure that no Reapers are going to hop up this, or giving him future reference for if Reapers do hop up that background there, so he can react accordingly. Losing a probe there to these Marines. Just probably sacrificing it more than anything in order to see what is going on up there. It was going to be very hard for him to escape from those Marines at that point. However, he is throwing down a Ghost Academy now, so that's a very fast Ghost Academy. Those EMP is going to be extremely lethal against this Protoss army once it gets up and running. Oh, but Socke is going for a Stargate, and I do not believe that TLO currently sees this. And it's in a nice position, because if TLO throws a scan down here, he's not going to see up to the very top of this base and might miss this Stargate. However, he's throwing down a second gateway, no doubt in order to pump out a few more zealots in order to aid whatever he is bringing out from that Stargate. And TLO now bringing out a few ghosts, getting a few upgrades, Stimpack and combat shields. I'm surprised he's not researching anything from his Ghost Academy yet, but we'll soon see, I imagine. Oh, there we go. Socke is now bringing out his first Phoenix, as well as bringing out a Sentry, which is already out on the field. Very, very handy for early Protoss games to get that Sentry out as quick as possible, especially when you're against Terran. If they do go for an early Marauder push or an early Marine push, you want to be able to seal off your base for as long as possible, or be able to split up their units in an effective way, as as much as you possibly can do. Anyway, TLO still bringing out all the more ghosts and throwing down another barracks as well as another supply depot. Nice saturation going on here from TLO. Yes, it's going alright. It could be a little bit better, but it's no doubt fine. Now Socke is coming in with his first Phoenix to have a little bit of a scout around, and TLO does see this, so he's got enough Marines to effectively handle this Phoenix, and on its own it's not very useful, but it's getting perilously close to those Marines there and almost gets taken down. very lucky there. That was a bit of mismanagement. Oh, but there is a second Phoenix out on the way. Socke does have this pylon, and he has thrown down a robotics facility at the back, no doubt to get that early observer out so he can keep an eye on what Mr. TLO is up to here. He is throwing down this expansion though now, and going for this nice quick expansion. He realises that his opponent has gone for these Phoenix and probably doesn't have as big a ground army as he would have liked to against this kind of marine push, especially with these Ghosts in the mix to do some EMP action on this army. Going to get rid of all the energy and shields from these units, so it's going to be devastating if this goes effectively. Unchecked, these Phoenix are just hanging around here. They don't have enough energy or the numbers to be effective at this point. However, Socke is throwing down a robotics facility, a forge and a gateway. So really going for the tech off one base here. Got a lot of chrono boost saved up there. Oh, he is scanning and taking out that pylon quite nicely. As well as that EMP going off on that full army. He is now running up, but he did not hit that, so he's going to separate that army really well there. 2 force fields perfectly on the ramp so they can't see up at, well, they can't reach up at all. Even trapping one marine there, picking up a few of these, this ghost in fact, with this Phoenix, and retreating a little bit because these marauders are in a firm position of control at this point. But oh no, EMPing the warping in stalkers as well. So this Phoenix is looking perilously close to death, but it looks like Socke has got this fended off quite nicely. This ghost now running after the Phoenix? No, he's running away. Run, run, run. Surviving, maybe? No, he's not going to survive. He's down and out. Anyway, LiquidTLO now microing up a nice bit of an army and bringing out a Hellion. I didn't see this factory go down, but apparently it has gone down, and bringing out a second factory. So going to be possibly transitioning into more of a mech play. However, we do see that Socke now has his Thermal Lance upgrade coming out, as well as a Colossi, so that's going to stand him in really good stead against any kind of marine or marauder pushes. But I think that TLO at this point has sensed that something is going on with a robotics facility or anything like that, so he's kind of switching up his game a bit, and these Colossi are less effective against the mech. I'm not saying they're ridiculously less effective, because they are fantastic in the end game or whatever. Oh, but this Hellion scooting past those zealots there, and not going to scoot past that, going to take it out. Oh my god, that was so close for this Hellion. Poor Hellion. Only going to be able to do a little bit of scouting. But Socke is now positioning this pylon in a very nice position, actually. That's quite a tricky position, and moving in to have a look around here, but I don't think he's going to be able to make anything of this push. There's a probe going down there on the bunker, and these units coming around to surround these, trying to take out this Colossi as quick as they can. And he's going to go... oh, he got sniped. Oh dear. But he has taken out all the other units, and is now coming around to harass these probes. TLO lifting off his command center in order to retreat for the safety of the hills. These bunkers in nice places here to make sure he can't make any forward pushes into this base. However, TLO does now have a starport, and this Thermal Lance's upgrade is just about finished. Now chrono boosting his Colossi, as well as playing around with these Phoenix and getting a few Stalkers and Zealots. And now TLO is transitioning into these kind of siege tech, and he has a Viking coming out as well to deal with not only the Phoenix but also the Colossi. And fantastic play there to realise that he will need that during this match. Although these Colossi now have their upgraded range and are raining down on these bunkers. These SCVs coming along to repair it, and that was a marine taken out. Yes, it was. God, my head. I'm so sorry. This is probably the worst commentary ever. Oh, there was taking out a few more probes, and these marauders getting a bit happy, but this Viking coming in to get a few pot shots on this Colossi, not going to do much. The shields should hopefully recharge eventually, but getting a few more pot shots, and this orbital command taking heavy damage at this point, but now sieging up, going to take out a lot of these. Oh, EMPing right on top of those Stalkers and Zealots, taking out one of the Stalkers, and now this Viking has taken down a Phoenix, and this Hellion just hanging out with his 12 HP. I'm surprised he isn't dead yet. Anyway, Socke is now getting his first Nexus expansion, and not that it would be a command center or a hive or a lair or anything like that, and getting his Twilight Council. Still harassing with these Colossi. Fantastic harassment units. However, these Vikings are going to ward them off eventually. And another EMP. I believe that was an EMP. I'm pretty sure that was an EMP. Going down, and these Marauders getting a bit trigger happy once again and attacking his own refinery. Bit of mismanagement there, but bringing all these units out of here to reinforce once again. Trapping these units in effectively unless he's going to take this narrow choke out at the back. But these siege tanks, excuse me, these siege tanks now sieging up and being taken out by that Colossi rather quickly. 7 kills on that Colossi, but all these Marauders and Marines being taken down, and these siege tanks now rolling in to finish off these Stalkers. This Colossi, the baller, oh my god, I can't believe I just said baller, coming in to try and take out more probes, but the siege tanks eventually finish it off. Anyway, Socke is now researching his Zealot charge and throwing down a few more refineries in order to get a bit more gas. Now need to just macro up a little bit more. Has a cannon here for protection? I don't know. And more Marauders coming out for TLO, as well as these siege tanks in a nice position to defend this natural as easily as possible. A few more ghosts coming out for TLO, as well as another Phoenix coming out for Socke. So I would imagine eventually we will see 1 or 2 more Vikings for TLO, as Phoenix, if they do reach a critical number, can be extremely devastating to any kind of play. And now TLO going for that infernal pre-igniter. Oh my god, I can't say anything today. This drink is, one sec. This drink's fantastic. Anyway, now a LiquidTLO. LiquidTLO, oh my god. Bringing out his first Raven. I'm not sure Raven's a good choice against Phoenix player, especially if he doesn't have any anti-air at all. He only has these siege tanks, these Marauders, and a Hellion, really. But yeah, I don't believe a Raven's the right choice. Anyway, it's not up to me. It's TLO. You know, he is the master. And anyway, Socke bringing out his Templar archives and researching his defense. I would have probably researched attack, but you know, it's the choice, I suppose. And also bringing out more Phoenix in order to accompany these 3 Phoenix already flying around. Still has this pylon. It's a good pylon. It's a really good position for that pylon, actually. Although, if they do get too close to this edge, they'll obviously see it or whatever. All these units nice spread out for any kind of random Colossi poking in, because it could do a lot of damage otherwise. And Socke now going for that second expansion. These Phoenix popping in and killing that probe off, that SCV off nicely, and going to pick off a few more probes, and he has nothing to defend against this. All he has is 1 ghost, and it does EMP, but that's, yes, EMPs to get rid of the energy, so you can't do any more harass.